Okay. Okie dokie. It's almost up. Alright. It is officially 7 p.m. So we're gonna get started. I'm just gonna share the link for the video over on Instagram. Sorry. Game. Okay. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Okay, well. Just gonna do that then. Live now. Link in bio. Cool. Okay. Worry about social medias later. Alright, so last stream we spent basically all the time what did we call it? Leveling up, right? We did a lot of grinding. So most of our Pokemon are a little higher level now than they were last week, which is great. But I don't think we're necessarily ready to take on Bugsy. I was doing a little bit of off-screen training a little bit ago, so I was able to do a level for Sandy at least. Mr. Sonar is pretty close to leveling up, but they've got a little bit ways to go. So I figure we'll start today's stream with some more grinding, and in the meantime, hopefully some people will jump in the chat and we can strategize for Bugsy and his bug type Pokemon. That'll be the last thing we do on stream tonight. I am contemplating entering Alex Forest, but I kind of want to get some repels because there's an opportunity to catch Hoot Hoot in there with the headbutting trees, and I really want to Hoot Hoot. I've just always liked Hoot Hoot and Noctowl. So I think that would be a great addition to the team. Plus, they'll be really helpful for what's his face, Chuck, the fighting type gym leader in Cianwood. It's a bit later on, but still. And then obviously, once we get Fly, after that, I think it's a lot easier to just have a flying Pokemon get all over the place very quickly. But yeah, so while we wait for some people to join in, this is a semi-normal Nuzlocke challenge, which just means I can only catch the first Pokemon I see per route. If I don't catch that Pokemon or I kill that Pokemon, I just don't get to catch any more Pokemon on that area. Not necessarily route, so like cities, towns, side areas like the Ruins of Alph. The first Pokemon I see, that's it. Every Pokemon I catch, I have to nickname it. If a Pokemon faints in battle, it's no longer usable, and I gotta put it in the PC box. We've already had a few losses, namely our starter Cyndaquil, our first capture Pidgey. We had a Spearow for a grand total of like, I don't know, 5 minutes before it passed away. and then we lost Onyx that we traded for with our Bellsprout during our gym battle against Faulkner, which was senseless. There's no reason a rock Pokemon should lose in a flying gym, but that's Onyx for you. Anyhow, oh, and there's the dab. Okie dokie. Well, thanks for coming in, and let's see you. And there's Tissue. Nice. Oh yeah. So those are the regular Nuzlocke rules. My added rules that I use are the species or dupes clause. So if I run into a Pokemon from same line or same evolutionary line of a Pokemon I already have, then I get to try for my next encounter in the area. So like if I have Butterfree, if I run into a Caterpie, Metapod, or Butterfree anywhere else, that doesn't count as my first encounter in the area. I get to go again until I find something different. What else? When I go into a gym, I can only use as many Pokemon as the gym leader uses, at least when we're fighting. And my Pokemon cannot be higher level than their highest level Pokemon. No man-made items like potions or antidotes during battles. I can use held items, berries, or I guess status items. I'm not really sure if that's what they're called or not, but yeah, so other than that, I think that's basically it. So I'll do a quick team recap. We got Mr. Sonar, our Zubat up first, relaxed nature, so it's minus speed plus defense, which is not great because I'm not super worried about physical attacks, and Zubat without speed is not fantastic. It does have the inner focus ability, so this Pokemon's protected from flinching. It knows the moves Leech Life, Supersonic, and Astonish. I really need this to learn a flying move if it's going to be any help to me at all. So we may not bring Mr. Sonar into the gym battle. Then we got Sandy, our Sandshrew, with a plus defense minus special defense nature, which is not great because Sandy's two weaknesses are grass and water, most of which are special moves. Not that I would be keeping Sandy in anyway for those types of battles, but it's just not great. Sand Veil ability, so boost the Pokemon's evasiveness in a Sandstorm, so as soon as I get Sandstorm, it's going up. It's got Scratch, Defense Curl, Sand Attack, and Poison Sting. Poison Sting kind of came in handy last stream on Monday, but it would be great to get some better moves on here. So we have Bucket, our Rattata, minus speed nature plus special defense, again not helpful. Rattata without speed, not fantastic, although I'm looking and its speed is its highest stat besides its health. So I guess we've accidentally maybe done some EV training in speed. But yeah, we would really want our plus to be in physical defense, just because fighting types are our only weakness and they hit physical, so not great. It's got the runaway ability, so it enables sure get away from wild Pokemon. It's fine. It's helpful for training purposes. I think it doesn't work when Pokemon uses moves like Mean Look or Wobbuffet, who's got the Shadow Tag ability, which basically pins you down. But I'm not 100% sure on that. Let's see, it's got Bite, Tail Whip, Quick Attack, and Focus Energy. Decent moveset for this early on. I'm excited to get Hyper Fang on here, and this thing's going to be a beast. We got G, our Ghastly. It's been kind of our what do I call it? Like our spokesperson for the run. It's the fan favorite, I think. Ghastly is just one of my favorite Pokemon in general, so it's great to have one on the team. So its nature is minus speed plus physical attack. Again, not great. Ghastly without speed, and then physical attack, not really a physical attacker, definitely a special attacker. As you can see, the special attack stat is 35, and then the only other stat that comes close is its speed, which is 27. So it would have been nice to get maybe something that was like minus physical attack plus defenses, either the special or the physical side. Probably the special side, just because Ghastly whole evolutionary line being part poison does make it weak to the one thing it's actually strong to, being psychic types, and most of them are special attackers. So thankfully we will outspeed a lot of them, and we'll be able to use some strong ghost type moves against them. Last stream found out that G might learn Nightshade within the next level, so hopefully, actually let's see, that it's going to be 341 experience points to that next level, so we'll see how it goes. Then we got Bugsy, our Butterfree. It's got a neutral nature, which is great, because I can't really think of anything. Maybe the speed would be needing to go up, but, or like, I guess if we had like a minus attack plus defense nature, that would be the most ideal, but realistically, I like neutral natures. It's got the Compound Eyes ability, so Pokemon's accuracy is boosted, which is great because we have all three of the powder moves which do not have high accuracy. Let's see, actually. So yeah, 75, 75, and 75. So yeah, Confusion is our other move besides the powder moves, and Butterfree is just going to be a big help as long as we can keep it alive. So I also might not take Bugsy into the gym, or any gym for that matter, because it's just going to be helpful for training purposes, catching purposes. It's basically our status user, and I don't want to lose that. And then we've got our MVP so far, Hatch, our Flaffy, with a plus attack minus defense nature. Again, not great. Overall, the Flaffy line is more special attack. As you can see, 32 on that special attack stat. But oh well. It's got the static ability, so contact with Pokemon may cause paralysis. And then it's got Thunder Shock, Thunder Wave, Tackle, and Growl. Again, not a bad moveset for this early on. I would like to have Thunderbolt or Thunder Punch, right, when it becomes Ampharos later. But for now, that'll do. We do have the Togepi Egg in the box, and I'm still trying to figure out where I want to hatch the Togepi Egg, because I will technically count that as my encounter in that area. For example, Hatch is the Mareep egg that I got from Primo over in the Violet City Pokemon Center. So I hatched it in Violet City because there was nothing really that I wanted from Violet City. I know once I got the Goldenrod, I could go back and catch Magikarp, but realistically, we get a free, well, we have a chance at a free red Gyarados later. So I'm not too worried about having a Magikarp on the team. If I go back down into Slowpoke well, there's basically only two Pokemon I can catch on the ground, which are Zubat and Slowpoke. Slowpoke being a water psychic Pokemon, super helpful. So I may go back in and try and catch a Slowpoke. If I change my mind, maybe I will fish, and I have a like 85% chance at getting a Magikarp and like a 15% chance of getting a Goldeen, because I only have the Goldenrod. So yeah. Okay, so again, we are gonna start with a little bit more grinding, just because I don't think we're ready to take on the gym yet. Once we get everybody probably to like level 15 is when realistically we'll go in there, and in that time, if anybody else jumps into chat and has some strategies based on our team and our movesets, then that would be most welcome, and I appreciate the assistance. So let's just go ahead and start doing some training. Also, I made the mistake of accepting people's phone numbers, so every time that the phone on the Pokegear rings, I will not be answering it, because there's nothing really that they can tell me outside of wanting to battle me. Which, if they want to battle me, honestly, I'll probably just go battle wild Pokemon to level up. I know the leveling up in the Johto games is less than ideal, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. Oops, that was loud, sorry. Also, I know that spiel at the beginning took quite a bit because it is now 7:16 and we started at 7. But if I talk too fast, just please let me know and I will slow down. Sometimes I get excited. Speaking of excited, my Switch controller is what I'm using, so I don't have to like hunch over the computer screen for everything. And I've basically set it up so that I could play with just one hand, like playing on Sword and Shield, because I'm kind of lazy. Oh, nice. All right, cool. Ugh. I'll turn the volume up too just a little bit so that you guys can kind of hear the music, hopefully. Yes, we'll see. When the next paycheck comes in, that'll be our time to see if it's in the cards. I think if I did like online gaming, then it would really be worth it, but I think for the way these streams go, we're okay. I was about to say I noticed the game's not lagging quite as much as it was last time, but there was a little bit of lag right there, so I was happy for a second. I mean, it's catching up though, so it's okay. Cheap ones on Amazon, always, right? That's the fear though, like getting stuff on Amazon and it's no good. Oh, it's funny, I was scrolling through Instagram earlier, and one of my friends on Instagram, FampyJT, he's playing, or was playing, Pokemon Crystal. And so he also caught a Rattata and named it Bucket, but he named it like Bucket, like where you carry things. So I thought that was kind of funny. We basically named our Rattatas the same thing, and his was also a girl. So it was like kind of crazy. Let's go for Sandy. Growl, not great, because we need to have our attack stat. Okay, that wasn't so bad. I'll go for Poison Sting. Nice. Alright. I didn't notice. Has Mr. Sonar even leveled up yet? Oh yeah, he did. Okay. Cool. So we'll just keep going, because I trust Rattata to basically train on her own. It's these two that I'm worried about, Zubat and Sandshrew. Because unfortunately, Zubat doesn't have any good moves, and Sandy was not proving herself very independent last run. She's doing a lot better now, but now it's also like twice the level. Because we spent most of the stream on Monday getting her and our other newcomers to level 10. Rattata was easy, but Zubat and Sandshrew not so much. Yeah. Basically for the Azalea gym, I can take 3 Pokemon with me as long as they're under level 17. So for sure I'm going to get everybody to level 15 right now, kind of work on a strategy, because I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably take G, Hatch, and Sandy. If I lose Sandy, it won't be the end of the world, but I will be sad because I really like Sandshrew, and she could potentially come in really handy for the next gym. I would also really not like to lose Hatch, just because he's going to be the counter for our rival's Totodile, and I mentioned it on last stream, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's going to have a Zubat as well the next time we see him. It's been a while since I played these games though, so I'm just trying to base everything off my memory of, like, I don't know, when the last time I played these games was probably 2009 when they came out. So, you know, over 10 years ago at this point. But if those are our options, because if I do go down into the Slowpoke well and catch a Slowpoke, I'm definitely not going to take it into the gym. I think Slowpoke's just water type, but in case they're part psychic type already, not going to do well in a bug gym, because for whatever reason psychic types are weak to bug types, so not a great match there. But Slowpoke will be helpful for future battles because of the water and psychic typing. For example, again with Chuck, the fighting gym leader. fighting types are weak to psychic types, so that'll come in really handy regardless of if I evolve Slowpoke into Slowbro or Slowking. Which I'm really hoping I was able to do the randomization properly so that I could get my trade evolutions without having to trade, so that they'll just kind of evolve on their own at a certain level, or like with certain circumstances, which I forgot to look up. I was supposed to do that. It's okay though. In the meantime, we're just gonna beat up whatever random Pokemon come around, and maybe I should do training in the Union Cave. There's rock Pokemon in there though, and that kind of scares me because I've got 2 Pokemon weak to rock and no Pokemon that really do anything to rock types, so it's not ideal. Oh, nope, not what I was trying to do. Okay. This may be the last match that Sandy participates in. We'll see though, because if all it does is growl or leer, then I'm not worried, and we can do one more. Otherwise, we'll go heal after this. Okay, so not a lot of damage, but still worth it to go heal after this. Oh, nice. Is that a crit? No. Okay. Nice. Okay, I guess we can use Bucket for this one. Oh, actually Hoppip. So Hoppip can't really hurt us. So we'll go ahead and switch into Sandy, because Poison Sting will be really helpful for the grass typing. I just wish Poison Sting was stronger. Also, come to think of it, is there a Poison Fang move? I feel like there is, because I know there's Fire, Thunder, and Ice Fang. But I can't think off the top of my head if there's a Poison one. I know, because Seviper would have been like the ideal Pokemon for that, but I feel like there's a lot of other Pokemon that really could, like Gliscor, maybe Gyarados, that could really utilize that move. Because I know Seviper has its like signature move is Poison Tail, and then, you know, obviously more Pokemon have gotten it since then, but I can't think off the top of my head if there's a Poison Fang move. I feel like there is, but I don't know. Let me check the PC really quick. I don't think there's anything else in here, but I don't think we've caught anything else. So this is our death box, unfortunately. So yeah, caught at level 2, died at level 2, caught at level 5, passed out at level 13. Same thing with EB. Rocky, you're not great, man. Yeah, so just the egg. Let me make sure I didn't drop anything else. Okay, cool. So, kind of want to hatch the egg, but I'm not going to do it here. And I said this in the last stream, the reason I'm not going to hatch it here in Azalea Town is because, oh, you know what I just remembered? We gave Kurt some apricorns last time. I gotta be careful, because if this continues to lag, I'm gonna run into an area I don't want to. That's how we ended up fighting Hiker Anthony last time. Okay, I just finished your Pokeball. Here. Obtained the friend balls. Cool. I don't remember what the yellow one does. I know the green one is friend. I feel like the white one is fast. The pink one is love, and the black one is heavy. Because I know the other two are blue and red. Blue is for the lure ball. I don't even remember what the red one is for either. You know what? Let's do the yellow one. Let's see what he gives us. Take a day. Got it. I'll come back at some point. Like, I really wish they didn't get rid of the apricorn balls. I kind of wish they had kept using them in other games. Like, I get it, it was kind of the Johto region gimmick, I guess. Was cool, fancy Pokeballs. But honestly, I like them more, design-wise at least, than like the dive ball or the luxury ball. Like, I just really don't like the luxury ball. I know it looks like classy or whatever, but I don't know, I don't like it. I'd much rather use a friend ball. And actually, same with the dive ball. I'd much rather use a lure ball. I know lure balls technically for Pokemon you fish, but I've used them on water Pokemon other than ones that I've fished up, and it works just fine. Yeah, I don't know. I do like the net ball, and that was a newer one that came out after the apricorns. I do like too that it works well on water and bug types. It's not just like a one-trick pony, which must make it like insanely effective on something like Surskit or Araquanid for being both water and bug type. I've never tested it to see if it's any more effective, but it always works, so not a big deal. Nope, wrong thing, wrong thing. There we go, that's a little better. I gotta not bump into this thing. Okay. scratch. We'll pretend that we're a cat and this is our scratching post. This Rattata is our scratching post. Which seems very not nice, but oh well. Oh yeah, so look, even one-handed I can move around. That is how lazy I am sometimes. It's not great. I think if I was a Pokemon, I'd probably be Slack off. Focus energy, huh? Well, focus this. Yeah, I really wish G could learn, like, a fire, a rock, or a flying move. Because then he would for sure be the MVP of this next gym. Like, I'm not too scared, but that Scyther can be a little much. I believe Trisecta, who is not here today, dealing with a Category 5 storm over in Florida, had mentioned that Bugsy's Scyther, his only I guess the moveset is U-turn, Quick Attack, and Fury Cutter. Believe either Swords Dance or Focus Energy is the last move on that list as well. But it being Gym 2, it may only have 2 or 3 moves anyway. Over in Florida? The kids were playing in the water in Florida? I don't know that that's safe. I mean, if you feel comfortable, then by all means, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your kids, but just be careful out there in Florida, everybody, or any surrounding states that might also be in danger. I'm not too up to date, unfortunately. I'm not a big news watcher. Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna let their kids play in the water, they probably don't care. Or, I mean, too, if they grew up around the area and they've been dealing with that kind of stuff their whole lives, I'm not gonna tell them how to live, you know? Like, if somebody came to my area that had never been here and started telling me that I was doing something wrong, I was like, nah, man, I've been here my whole life. You're just gonna have to deal with it. Like Los Angeles beaches, right? Constantly voted some of the worst beaches in the world, cleanliness and quality-wise in the water. I grew up in Los Angeles water, and I'm okay. I have the right number of fingers and toes. I don't have any insanely abnormal mutations, which kind of would be cool. You know, be like the X-Men, but, you know, thankfully I'm healthy-ish. And most of the people that I grew up with, same thing. You know, we all grew up in that water, and we're all fine. So, I mean, maybe evolution kicked in and said, oh, you guys are playing in this disgusting water, well, we're gonna make you stronger. You'll just do a lot better than people that don't play in this water. So maybe that's what these parents are doing. They're outthinking the rest of us. Again, what is with these things holding these berries, man? This is almost as bad as last stream where all the Zubats were hitting their supersonics, but not mine. Oh, also, I guess there's a new Diglett variant or Diglett-esque Pokemon that got announced today or yesterday, maybe. It's supposed to be a worm, but basically it's Diglett. Rapid Spin. Ooh, that could be good. Kinda might need Defense Curl. You know what? I'm gonna get rid of Sand Attack, because although it can be helpful, oftentimes of all the accuracy moves, it is not the best. Let's see. I mean, the only way for anyone to build up immunity to something is to slowly expose them to it, and that's why it's important to let your kids play it in dirt and stuff. Agreed. Right? I grew up playing in the dirt, getting in the mud, grass. Used to walk on rocks barefoot just because I was too lazy to put shoes on. Chase the ice cream truck down the street. I don't get sick too often. Sometimes I go years without getting sick, and that's great. But then when I do get sick, man, I get sick. It's not cool. Same, I used to dig up holes in the backyard and look for worms. Hey, you know, when I was growing up, the Rugrats made eating worms look cool. I don't think I ever actually did it, but I'm sure at some point it crossed my mind. Now there's the new 3D Rugrats on Paramount. I don't know how I feel about it. Apparently it is most of the original cast though, so that's kind of nice that they're all still doing voiceover work. Because what's her face that does the voice of Tommy Pickles? I know she's never stopped doing voiceover work. You refuse to watch it, yeah? It's okay, it's not really for us. Not for adults. It's really more for kids and for them to learn things or just to be entertained for a little bit by things that aren't Cocomelon. 'Cause I know people don't like that. Some people really like it because it keeps their kids quiet for a minute. I don't really care either way. I have no opinion on a Cocomelon. It was a show when a lot of us were growing up, yes, but now we're adults. It's for children, for infants, toddlers, babies, little ones. It's like, yeah, I could probably go back and watch the original Rugrats and still enjoy it. But if I watch the new Rugrats, it's probably going to be very different because 1990 was a very different year than 2022. Yeah, but now it's a new show. It's like when I was growing up, we had that 70s show. Now on Netflix, there's going to be that 90s show. So I'm going to watch it, but it may not necessarily be for me. It'll be for the teenagers of this generation. And it's going to be weird because I grew up in the 90s. So It's gonna be very interesting. Or who knows, maybe I am like the target demographic for that show. Because it's for fans of that 70s show who grew up in the 90s. And that's me. I'm a fan of that 70s show who grew up in the 90s. And realistically, a lot of the stuff that was talked about in that 70s show is the same stuff we were talking about in the 90s. A lot of my cousins are older and they could probably vouch better than I could because I was a little one at that point, but oh snap, gotta pay attention to the health. Okay, tackle. Let's see, we outsped, but it does potentially have quick attack, level 7, yeah, so we're gonna switch. And you know what, we will just use Mr. Sonar, because it's only got a little bit of health left anyway. Oh man, I could have just killed it, but that's okay. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I don't know if it's going to do well. I don't feel that it's going to do well. Honestly, the 90s was a weird time. It was like backlash of the 80s transitioning into the 2000s. It wasn't really its own time period outside of like cartoons and the like booming of the video game industry, which has brought me here. Playing games. Oh man. Oh yeah. Bucket. Oh, speaking of bucket, I heard this morning on the radio, I guess Winter Soldier's not going to be part of the new Captain America team cast. I guess it just doesn't make sense with the new Captain America, the what's his face, Anthony Mackie, right? The guy that played Falcon or whatever his name is. I guess for whatever reason, Marvel and Disney and Fox and whoever else is in charge of those meetings just felt that he's not a good fit, despite having been best friends with Captain America at one point. I mean, so he may start his own like anti-hero league, which will be kind of cool. I know this thing has Peck, but I'm going to go into Bugsy anyway. And I'm just going to try and use Confusion, see if that works. Growl, I don't care. I don't have any physical moves. Actually, you know what I could do? Just to be on the safe side. Sleep Powder. Yeah, so moves like the powder moves are really why the Compound Eyes ability comes in handy. Because normally those moves have like a 1 in 3 chance of missing, which happens way more often than it should. So with the Compound Eyes ability, basically it turns it to 100% chance of hitting, which is way better, in my opinion. But some people might not like 100% accurate moves. So I guess the lag hits harder when I'm transitioning from area to area. You think Winter Soldier needs his own team? I think that'd be kind of cool. Have like an anti-hero team. Him, I don't really like Scarlet Witch, but she's kind of anti-hero. Um, who else? I guess Hulk is actually kind of anti-hero. I know they're really embracing the half human, half Hulk thing, but I think they need to go back to the Jekyll and Hyde split personality thing, which I mean is really the whole reason that that Hulk works. Like half Hulk, half Bruce Banner. It's not really interesting. It's just kind of like, oh, this is just a guy who happens to be large and green. Oh, you watched She-Hulk? I don't know. I've never found the She-Hulk character interesting, even in the 90s. Like in the Incredible Hulk cartoon show, never was a fan of She-Hulk. The comic books, my cousins, they were older than me, so they were more into the comics than the shows. I was more of the cartoon show because I was a kid. But even they were like, yeah, no, she's not very interesting. But I mean, maybe now people's opinions are changing because of the show. Nah. Think I'll pass on that one. But speaking of Disney Plus, I think Andor just came out, right? That's gonna be interesting. Although I'm getting mixed feelings because I was really hoping that what was it? Rogue One. I was kind of excited for Rogue One, and as the movie was playing, I realized this is unnecessary. Um, like, this is a story we already know and don't really need to see because it doesn't follow any of the important characters, really. Like, on one hand, they are important because without that storyline, we could not have gotten to Luke Skywalker, essentially. But, I mean, we know the story. Rebel spies went in, grabbed the plans for the Death Star, came back, they all died, getting the information to Leia and the rest of the rebels, and then Luke Skywalker blows their ship up. So, I mean, that's all we really needed to know. Not that the acting or the sets or anything was bad. It just was kind of an unnecessary movie, and it took me out of it. I've tried watching it again, and I still just like, it's unnecessary. Okay, Pokemon. Okay, this is sort of taking longer than I was hoping it was gonna take. I mean, critics are saying that Andor is great also, and I got a little excited for it at first, but again with the whole like unnecessary, because it's the prequel to Rogue One, so it's even less necessary. It may be very cool visually, and they may have some nice little story arcs, but it's a completely unnecessary story as far as the big picture is concerned. But yeah, who knows? It could be really good, and I may really enjoy it. I'll watch the first episode at least, kind of see what it's about. Because I don't want to judge something too hard. Oh man. Okay. This is kind of where the experience candies and all the free rare candies of Sword and Shield come in. But it's all good. A little extra time to strategize. Because I've kind of been thinking while talking and battling. And I do think probably between G, Hatch, and Sandy is the best possible team for Bugsy. Just because, like, realistically, I could set up big time using Sandy with Defense Curl, so any of Bugsy's hard-hitting moves don't really do too much. Fury Cutter will be a little scary. Hopefully Sandy learns something useful besides Scratch and Poison Sting, because Fury Cutter is a move that is really scary. It can do more and more damage each turn it hits successfully, so I kind of probably should have kept Sand Attack now that I think about it. But it's okay because I can get Sandy to kind of weaken him down a bit, because I can literally just set up like crazy on the Kakuna or the Metapod, whatever comes first. I gotta see if I can find an Oranberry anywhere, because they will, I believe they both have Tackle, or one has Tackle, one has Poison Sting. I'm not totally 100% positive. But it's also kind of the reason I really wish Mr. Sonar here had some flying type attacks, because then we could take those two out a lot easier and then worry about Scyther in the back, which we could put to sleep with G, and then switch into Hatch to use like Thundershock, because Scyther is part flying type, so the Thundershock will do a pretty decent amount of damage. And if it's asleep, I could probably get off 2 or 3 in case Bugsy uses a potion or something. But this is all like wishful thinking, because I had some very wishful thinking for Faulkner, and that did not go well. Although the good news here is if I can keep Zubat alive long enough, it'll become Crobat, and at that point I'm not really worried about it dying, except maybe to like a Psychic type. Because of the flying type, it's not going to be affected by ground type moves, which is another weakness of the poison typing. So I really would just be looking out for electric types and psychic types with Zubat, because I'm not too worried about ice types. There's very few of them outside of Ice Beam. They don't do too much damage in this generation, I don't think. But just trying to come up with ideas here. Yeah, because outside of U-Turn, Scyther won't have any moves to hit G with, but U-Turn can hit pretty hard. I'm not sure how many turns he can use U-Turn, but I have Spite. So if he uses U-Turn and I put him to sleep, I can use Spite while he's asleep, and then the only move he's got will be Quick Attack and or Fury Cutter, which doesn't affect G. And then from there I could just take him out. So that's kind of the strategy I'm thinking of right now, because the first two I'm not that worried about them. You know, I'll send in Sandy to take care of the first two, and hopefully it goes smoothly. Because I could also use Rapid Spin to get faster. I could just set up a bunch of Rapid Spins, a bunch of Defense Curls, and then not be too worried about the moves that Scyther has to offer. But again, I just got to be careful. Yeah, because I would take Bucket into the gym, but I am really planning on using her later. So overall, Sandy is my most disposable team member right now, despite also potentially being very helpful in the future. So it's already 8 o'clock, so we've been grinding for about an hour. I've been strategizing that whole time. So I'm going to go ahead and train until Sandy's in the yellow, which will be very soon. And now the nighttime Pokemon are coming, so I guarantee you this Zubat's going to go for Supersonic. It's going to hit it, and it's going to just upset me, so... Yeah, so after this, we'll go train in the... You know what? Let's see how much damage Rapid Spin does. Okay, not too bad. Oh, does Rapid Spin not make you faster here? What? Really? Oh, that's horrible. Okay, that was not great. Now I really want Sand Attack back. And there's no, like, move tutor or anything around here. So this is garbage. Yeah, because with high enough defenses, I could have set up Sand Attacks like crazy on Scyther, and the thing would do absolutely no damage to me. Because if he tries to go for Fury Cutter, it's going to be nothing, and he'll miss every so often. Now I'm really, really regretting. I should have read what Rapid Spin did. Normally I do. Actually, I'll read it after this match, but so at least in more recent generations, I think I'm pretty sure it's Rapid Spin. That every time you use Rapid Spin, you can use it to get rid of what's called, like, battle hazards, like spikes, poison spikes, or it's called stealth rocks. Maybe I did and I just wasn't paying attention. Oh, come on, man. I mean, this thing can't really do anything to you, but hit that hard scratch, and let's go heal, and then we'll go train in the gym. But yeah, so normally, or at least lately, every time you use Rapid Spin, it could be used for things like that, to clear any hazards from the ground, but also raise your speed stat by 1 point. Clearly that is not the case here, and that is super upsetting, because that was kind of part of the plan, was to just be faster and higher defense, and then just scratch the heck out of it. But clearly that's not going to happen. So that sucks. Well, this is unfortunate. Okay, so I'll take all of them into the gym, but once we beat the gym trainers, we'll come back to the PC, we'll heal up, we'll drop off the Pokemon we're not going to use, and really dig into the strategy of what's going to happen. I know the gym trainers obviously are not going to get me to the level cap area, but what I'm planning on doing is after the fact we'll be coming out and just getting our 3 Pokemon we really do plan on using to the level cap. So when we take on Bugsy, we're as strong as we can possibly be. Excuse me, Slowpoke. Like, one of the nice things about doing research is that you get to really know what's going to happen next, but then you're like super prepared and it's not as exciting. Yo, Challenger, Bugsy made this gym. It's a huge nest of bug-type Pokemon. Bugsy's young, but he's a master of bug-type Pokemon. It's going to be tough without my advice. Let's see, bug-type Pokemon don't like fire. Flying-type moves are super effective too. Well, I've got neither of those things. So, yeah. See, I forgot to read it again. Let's see, you've come all this way, crossing the web like a bug. Allow me to teach you the charms of bug Pokemon. Okay, so here's the bad thing about bug Pokemon. A lot of them have status moves, because although bugs aren't very strong, they obviously have some sort of defense, right? So for Caterpie, I'm not too worried because it's going to be String Shot and Tackle most likely. String Shot is not great because it does lower my speed, but I'm also much faster than most bug types, so I'm not worried about it. Obviously, Tackle is just a move that hits on Sandy. It's not going to hit very hard. But then there's Pokemon like Weedle, who can use Poison Sting. And there's Weedle there. So we won't worry about switching just yet. Poison Sting on like G, not that big a deal. Because he's half poison type, so I'm not super worried, but even if he gets poisoned like Sandy just did, there's a possibility of being screwed. We obviously don't want to be poisoned, and I should find if there's any sort of poison cure berry. I already forgot what the actual name of it is, or the newer name of it is, because in the original games it was just PSN cure berry, poison cure berry, and I thought that was great. Like, you're telling me exactly what this does. I don't have to think or remember names. Like, the berry gave you health, paralyze cure berry, or paralyze heal berry, whatever it was called. Like, they all did exactly what they said they did. It's great. Okay, I'm not gonna run to the Pokemon Center for that. We're still doing okay, so I'm gonna go up. Miracle Seed is great for rock type or grass type Pokemon, but we don't have any, so yeah, see, Rock Smash, Flash, and Roost, not moves that are going to be helpful to me in any way. Okay. Yeah, basically the only other bug type Pokemon in this game will be Spinarak, the thing that these little spiders are based off of. Which basically is the same as Weedle, not really a problem. Oh, Ladybug also. Ladybug? Ladybug? I don't know. It's a ladybug, but it's not called a ladybug. But basically, they're not real threats, especially the ladybug. Spinarak can be, again, because of the poison. It's basically like Caterpie and Weedle. There's a ladybug and a spider, instead of two like worm caterpillar-esque Pokemon. Okay, that was pretty good. So as long as we stay healthy, we'll be okay. Yeah, of course. Okay, well, we'll still finish off this Weedle. Kakuna, so we will definitely switch. And so here's the problem with Pokemon like Kakuna and Metapod. They have really high defenses, and their only thing is hardening to get higher defenses. Luckily, in these games, there is what's called the physical special split. Oh, come on, man. So, harden really only affects your physical your physical defense, which is not great for G right now because the only attacking move he has is Lick. So we're going to try for Hypnosis again. Cool. So now he's asleep. He won't be able to use Harden for a little bit. We'll be able to Lick away for a bit. And then maybe if he wakes up, we'll be able to get the paralysis off of a Lick. And yeah, because I believe that's what Trisecta said is get to level 15, G will learn Nightshade. So Nightshade is a ghost type attack, but it's a special type attack, so there's no physical contact, which is more what we're looking for here. Like it looks like the only move this Kakuna has is Harden, so we kind of lucked out, and I could literally do anything at this point. I could switch to Flaffy, I could switch to Rattata, doesn't really matter. I'll be able to eventually take this thing down. There we go. There's the paralysis. For whatever reason, the move Lick has a chance to paralyze. It's not a very high chance, obviously. It happens very rarely, but the fact that it does happen is kind of nice, because I don't see why it would happen. Like, if somebody licks you in real life, they're not gonna, like, shock you into paralysis, you know? You're gonna be like, hey, why are you licking me? Stop licking me, or I'm gonna hit you. Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, I guess the only move this thing has is Harden. So we're just gonna keep licking till it faints, because its defense can't go any higher. If it runs out of power points to use the Harden attack, eventually it'll go into struggle mode, and it can only use a move called Struggle, which basically takes health to use to cause damage to the opponent. It is not an ideal form of attacking, but when it's all you got, it's all you got. Beedrill. For that, I think I will switch. I think I will use Flaffy on that one. I can't remember if Beedrill is bug poison or bug flying. Either way, we're gonna go for... Okay, Fury Attack. It's not too scary. If it gets any critical hits, that's where it gets kind of scary. Okay, not great. So let's go for Thunder Wave. Oh. I feel like of the 2 or 3 times I've gone for Thunder Wave, Static has kicked in. Actually, so if that's the only thing you know how to do, G can come back out. Because Fury Attack is a normal type move, so it's not going to hit G. So we'll get a chance to see if this thing has any other moves. Oh, I guess not. I guess that's it. so I really don't gotta worry about it. Kind of surprised it doesn't have Poison Sting, but it wouldn't do very much damage anyway. It's just scary to get that poison. Nice. Oh, so close. Okay. Okay, we might actually have to go to the Pokemon Center, just because that battle did a little more damage than I would have liked. I know Sandy's got that, so we'll take care of that. Okay, so we know it's the Spinarak on the left will get us moving forward. No, Ralph. I could have swore there was a way to get rid of people from your phone list on the Pokegear, but I couldn't find it last time. No. We're okay. Thank you very much, though. Yeah, so normally bug-type Pokemon, not very scary, especially early on. That's why Scyther is so scary, because it's got some decent stats, speed and attack-wise. Defense, not so much, especially being 4 times weak to the rock typing. Unfortunately, we didn't catch a Geodude. On Route 46, we caught a Spearow, which would have been great here if it stayed alive. It did not, and that's my fault for not paying attention. Same thing with Pidgey, and not even that Pidgey wasn't paying, or that I wasn't paying attention. I just was trying things that maybe I shouldn't necessarily have tried. Okay, cool. A double battle. I think it's a double battle. Either that or it's going to be one-on-one 2 times. Because in original Gold, Silver, and Crystal, there was no double battles. That didn't happen. Okay, cool. So that actually, there we go. Lediba and Spinarak. Those are the 2 Pokemon I was talking about earlier. So because Spinarak is the more scary of the 2, I'm going to go ahead and try to take that thing out first. Thankfully, it looks like both of my Pokemon are faster, and if the only real move that these guys have are String Shot and Tackle, I'm not too worried. Okay, so we should still be faster enough that we'll get these moves off. I mean, because Tackle, the only thing they're going to be able to hit is Sandy, who can handle a few tackles. I'm not worried about Sandy getting hit by Tackle or not getting hit by Tackle. Sweet. Okay, cool. So, perfect. Nightshade. Okay. So, yes. So let's actually look at what Nightshade does. So the user makes the foe see a mirage and inflicts damage matching the user's level. Okay, so that's not great, only because, I mean, it's going to be better than this, but, no! Oh god. Okay, I got scared for a second. I forgot that they do this whole thing. Okay, G wants to learn Nightshade. We are going to do it. We are going to learn Nightshade. Forget a move. What I was trying to do was show that, okay, so you see where it says category, it says special, whereas lick, category is physical. So G having a higher special attack stat than physical attack stat, it makes way more sense to have Nightshade. The only problem is if it does damage equal to the opponent's level. Oh, the user's level. So, I mean, he's a decent enough level, I guess. There is obviously potential for Lick to do more damage, but we're going to go for Nightshade because Look is going to be really helpful for catching Pokemon and keeping Pokemon in place that I want to defeat, which actually I could do that with Scyther. For example, if he throws out Scyther first or second, it'll be a super easy thing to say, hey, Hypnosis, Look. If you try to use U-turn, Spite, just Spite all day. But we'll see how that goes. Okay, so let's check out how Nightshade does. Okay, definitely better than Lick, so I'll take it. And look, no Pokemon were poisoned in the making of this battle. Okay, so we're going to fight that one more trainer on the side there. Okay, he's only got one Pokemon, so... Okay, Paris. So Paris is interesting because it's a grass and bug Pokemon. I don't think he's going to know any grass moves. But let's see how well Poison Sting does here. Because I don't remember if bug types have any sort of resistance. Oh, no, they don't. So, and Scratch shouldn't do too much. Okay, that did more than I was expecting it to do, but not bad. You would kind of think because of the mushrooms, it would probably be a poison bug thing. But for whatever reason, they decided the mushrooms were grass. Because they look like Toadstool. They look like from Mario, Super Mario Brothers. What happened? Oh, Leech Life. Okay, I mean, well, you're gonna die anyway, so Rapid Spin. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna go heal again. And we are going to grind everybody up to level 17. Because if I can avoid losing a team member here, it would be most ideal. So it almost makes more sense to lead off with G, because I believe the first Pokemon is Metapod. Metapod only has Tackle, String Shot, and Harden. And that's if you trained it from a Caterpie. Although that being said, I'm not super worried about it. So again, I don't mind risking... Oh yeah, I'm going to leave my other... yeah, I'll leave my other Pokemon for now. We will train in a second. After Bugsy, we will train everybody up to level 17 or whatever the next level cap is, or close to it. Which I have to look up Whitney after this. almost want to take Butterfree over Flaffy, but I think overall it'll just be easier in case I need to Thundershock that that Scyther. So yeah, I think we'll definitely lead Sandy in that battle and just do what we can to take out the first Pokemon. It's unlikely that he'll switch into Scyther immediately, but just to be on the safe side, while we may do like every other turn, scratch, harden, or maybe Poison Sting, defense curl, Poison Sting, just to kind of get those level ups in between hitting these Chrysalis Pokemon. But also, thankfully, we're fighting a bunch of Rattatas, so we're getting a lot of speed training in, so we have a better chance of being faster than Scyther, who I'm sure will be insanely fast, plus quick attack, so that kind of messes with those plans a little bit. But it's all good. Okay, not too bad. This is where that dang Onyx would have come in really handy, because then I definitely wouldn't be scared. Like, bug moves aren't going to do anything, even with Scyther's speed and attack stat. Like, do absolutely nothing. And then having Rock Throw already was just fantastic, but unfortunately it didn't happen that way, so we just kind of got to work with what we got. Same reason I was hoping we would catch a Geodude on Route 46 or within Union Cave. But we got Sandshrew, Swift. Okay, so here's our chance to actually see what Rapid Spin does. A spin attack that can also eliminate such moves as Bind, Wrap, Leech Seed, and Spikes. I mean, I don't know how many trainers in-game set up hazards like that. I'm not really worried about Wrap at this point. And Leech Seed, there's no way I would be using Sandy against a Grass type. So we're definitely going to forget that, because Swift is a move that never misses. The only time it's going to miss is if a Pokemon protects itself or if it's a Ghost type. Other than that, my accuracy could be as low as humanly possible, but Swift will never miss. So we're definitely going to get rid of Rapid Spin. So 2 more levels, and then we'll train up G. And then after that, we'll just get Hatch. I think I'm going to get G and Hatch as close to level 18 as possible without going over, because at that point I will have screwed myself. Actually, let's see how much damage Swift does. I like that little sound. Okay, not bad. Not great, but not bad. Oops. I meant to click scratch, but that's okay, because it did more than half last time, so. Yep, that makes sense. Well, we're just going to go for Swift again then. There we go. Okay. Okay, so we know Swift is not the way to go here. But Scratch, we know, does a good amount of damage, so we'll do that. Wow. Is it a crit? No, just turning into a badass. Good job, Sandy. Okay, well, now we can use Swift, I guess. I would have just used Poison Sting because there's more PP for it, but why not? I know Swift is not going to be a super helpful move, because Sandshrew would be more of a physical attacker than a special attacker, but it's just nice having something that doesn't miss. I suppose I could have used Swift there, but I got a lot of PP for Scratch too, so it's all good. Okay, so you're not going to learn any more moves. Sorry, just looking up what other moves Sandshrew might learn, but Sandshrew is done learning moves until the next level cap, and doesn't evolve until level 22. So not great. Okay. Dang, same thing with Ghastly. Oh, really? Flappy doesn't evolve till level 30. And you're done learning moves until then also. So that sucks. So these are our movesets. Oh look, it's Larry, the other tissue box cat. Oof. Okay, we're running kind of low on health, but I think we'll be okay. Okay, well, since you're running low on health, we will swap you with G. And again, we're probably going to get G and Flaffy as close to level 18 as possible without going over. Just so they have that opportunity to level up in the gym, and while we're there in that fight, we'll get that little bit of an edge over Bugsy and his Scyther. Because I don't ever remember having a big problem with Bugsy, but obviously I'm not having the greatest of luck. Lost my starter, who was going to be basically my main answer to this area here, because with Quilava, I wouldn't have any problem whatsoever. I'd just be like, yo, this guy's going down. Unfortunately, that's not what's going on, so oh well. You know, I actually, let's see. I'm gonna look up Togepi really quick. Okay, so I know so Togepi itself would be completely useless in this gym. As far as its evolution, Togetic, which is normal and flying type, so a little bit of an advantage there. Let's see. Yeah, nope, doesn't even learn a single flying type move, and definitely not early enough to really be useful. So unfortunately, Togepi would be no use here. Cyndaquil and Pidgey and even Spearow would have been great uses here, and if I had kept them alive, they would definitely be my answer to this area. I should have just went with my gut and gone for the Mareep Egg before the gym, and then just gone into the gym with Rocky at level 9 or 10, whatever it is. Knowing Mareep was in the back, ready to go. Because Mareep ended up being the MVP anyway of that gym. Took down both Pokemon basically single-handedly. Rocky just kind of got in the way to tire out Pidgeotto, I guess. I don't know. But definitely Flaffy's been our MVP. So you'll give me $1 if I name it Scrambled. We'll see. Like, I don't want to go into this gym under-leveled, but I don't want to spend too much time grinding their levels up. So I'm kind of torn. So this stream may go a little longer than I had intended, but I don't think we're gonna go over 3 hours. If we get to that 3-hour mark, for sure, I'm gonna cut it off there, because that's too much. I mean, it's too much for me. If people like long streams, then by all means, I would gladly do it. Which, actually, speaking of, next Monday I will not be streaming, so to make up for it, I will be streaming on Sunday. I believe it's October 2nd. And on Sunday I can do a nice long stream and maybe go through 2 areas instead of just one at a time like I've been doing. But we'll see how that goes, because I don't want to have too much in one stream, and I don't want to have, because I do my little kind of story narrative updates of each stream on Instagram, which, if you are watching and you don't follow me on Instagram, please feel free at Pocket Gamer, POKET_GMR. And yeah, you can see the narrative updates on there, kind of how I tell more of a story rather than just playing the game. They are long posts, but I think they're cool. They're fun to make, so hopefully they're fun to read. I got the idea to do narrative posts from another Nuzlocker over on Instagram, Noah Nuzlocker, who, if you don't follow them on Instagram, you should definitely do that. They have really fun narratives going on in their posts, and they're better at it than I am. They keep it short and sweet. I believe they're UK based, but they've been really into ghost type Pokemon lately. Mainly Spiritomb, I think, is definitely their spokesperson. With good reason though, because Spiritomb's pretty dope. But I believe they also really like Chandelure, which is one of my favorites as far as ghost types go. So yeah, just a few more shout outs there for the Instagrams. Yeah. Oh, I just saw your little comment there, $2. I think I'm gonna hold out and see what the other further offerings are. I need a little more money than that. My time is precious, and hatching a Togepi egg takes a while, and getting a Togepi to like you enough to evolve takes an even longer time. And time is money. Time is precious. Money is precious. Unless you're Gollum, in which case the ring is precious. And that'll probably be the first and only Lord of the Rings reference I ever make on stream. $2.40. What are you, checking your pockets? Is that all the change you got? Okay, although I appreciate the Rattatas, what is up with all the Rattatas? I also need to pay attention to hatch. Okay, still level 16, so that's good. How close are we to level 17? Not very close at all. Okay, you know what? I am gonna... Oops, what am I doing? Okay. Okay. Oh. Alright. I'm doing the thing that I said I was not gonna do, and I'm looking up Bugsy's moveset. So for Scyther, the only scary thing is his Scyther has a citrus berry, which revives a lot of its health. Because we're so low level that, you know, even 20 points of HP could make the difference between winning and losing the battle. But literally the only move that it could hit you with is U-turn. And then for Metapod and Kakuna, Metapod can't hit G at all. It only has tackle. Kakuna has Poison Sting though, so that's a little scary. That one is probably where I'm gonna have to cut my losses if worse comes to worse, and say goodbye to Sandy. But let me see, can I click on U-turn and it'll tell me? Okay, so yeah, kind of scary. U-turn has a power of 70, which is insane, on top of Ghastly's massive attack, or Scyther's massive attack stat, and it's got a PP of 20. So literally, if I could take one hit from that Scyther, that would be amazing. In that scenario, Zubat might actually be better off with me than Sandy. Because especially if I get poisoned early on, Sandy is going to be zero help against Scyther, because we're going to be losing health every turn. Oh man. Well, this just got a little scarier. $2.69. Nah. Not worth it. Okay. Zubat learns Wing Attack at level 17. Definitely training the wrong Pokemon. Water? I have a little bit left. So as much as I don't want to have to train Zubat, because I think he's only level 12, it's definitely the safer play. Because at that point, I can Wing Attack Metapod, I can Wing Attack Kakuna, and not worry about it at all. U-turn won't do too much damage, but I'll probably just switch straight into... Because most likely he's going to use Focus Energy first. And that's what I'm afraid of. Because that raises the critical hit chances. Mm-hmm. Alright, so it's looking like there's a chance I might lose somebody. If I could, I'd much rather lose Zubat or Sandshrew. They're just way less valuable overall than the rest of my Pokemon. But Sandshrew also has Defense Curl. I just won't be able to take out... Oh, man. This is tough. Yeah. Mr. Sonar's level 12 and you've got nothing going on for him. What are the defenses looking like? I mean, he's got plus defense, but it's still one of his weakest stats. Speed's not great, so there's definitely no way he's going to outspeed on Scyther. And although Wing Attack would be great on Metapod and Kakuna, it's not gonna do anything when it comes to that Scyther. Or there's also the possibility that I get through Metapod and Kakuna, because he might throw in Scyther either first or second just to use the U-turn move. And U-turn won't do as much damage to Zubat because of his flying typing. But this is tough. Okay. Like at that point, I almost think I would take Zubat instead of Flaffy and then sacrifice Zubat. Because I have the opportunity to get Noctowl or Hoot Hoot in Ilex Forest. Although Crobat, I think, overall is a better Pokemon in the end. Damn. Okay, well, we're gonna bring him out for now. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down to Slowpoke Well. Or no, because I don't want to make that encounter just yet. As much as a Slowpoke will help me in the future. So we'll go back to switch training on this Zubat, because most of his moves are useless. Okay, I stand corrected. His moveset doesn't suck. Bite is helpful, because now he'll be able to train himself a little bit. See how it does. Wow, not bad. I don't know if Leech Life's going to be enough, so we'll just go for another bite. Oh. Okay, but at least we know that bite does a pretty good amount of damage. Okay. Okay, not bad. I mean, that gets me stoked for wing attack, but it's still going to take a long time to get him to level 17. Wow. I mean, you are almost 10 levels higher than this thing, so that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know anything about hair. You will have to Google search that. Yahoo Answers. See if Jeeves is still answering questions. I am thinking it might be better to just do some off-screen training and worry about Bugsy later. Thinking potentially with me getting an extra day off this week, I might actually do a second stream tomorrow. If I have the time, I'm not gonna guarantee or promise anything. Sylveon and Togepi are pretty cool. Yes, I have been streaming for 2 hours, and that's why I'm thinking I'll just call it a night on the stream. Maybe I'll do some training after. Potentially I'll do a second stream tomorrow in which I take on Bugsy, or might also just wait till Sunday and do a planned longer stream to make up for not streaming on next Monday. Because I am getting a little tired. This is kind of a lot of sitting also, which is not great. Yeah, so I think this will be the last battle of this stream. I'll do a bunch of off-screen training tomorrow. If I have the time, I will take on Bugsy and possibly move through Ilex Forest. Sunday, I will also make up for not streaming Monday, or next Monday, and potentially could do a really long stream on Sunday. Um, but I'll probably still try to keep it, between an hour and two. Um, but I think this is good enough for now, stream wise. And we will take on Bugsy hopefully tomorrow. Um, so until tomorrow, or possibly even on Sunday, I will come up with strategy, and yeah,